All right, let's get this sound off here and make sure that my voice is coming. It is good, 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 good. All right, welcome back, everybody. Soul Commodore here again, and we are back with this piece here. Yo, Jake from the Woods, what's going on? How you doing? How you feeling? How you being? Just gonna wipe off this lens a little bit. There we go. Yeah, but I hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are doing well. Feeling good, chilling? Good, good. Hey, Danny, how's it going? But yeah, we're gonna be back with this piece. Primarily working in this area, getting all the bugs out. Basically is the plan for today. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get our palette and our brushes together, and then I'm going to shift y'all over here, and we're going to have a little fun working on this guy. But how are you guys doing? Jake, how did you catch any of the what is it called? Nintendo Direct? And if so, how did you feel about it? Okay, so we'll get that together. All right, now first things first, we're going to move this shelf closer this way. Yeah, 48 tracks is ridiculous, isn't it? 48 tracks is basically like a brand new game for like $25. I mean, it's all it's all old tracks, but still. And true, there's no Zelda, but you know what? I'm kind of in the camp with the Zelda that, you know what, take as long as you need. You have carte blanche to take as long as you need to make sure that that game is everything that it needs to be. How am I going to do this? That's how we're going to do this. Hey Zell, thank you for the lurk. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. You agree 100%. Yes, yes. I mean, it's frustrating to not get any news, but you know what? I'll deal with it. It's fine. You bet I'm watching. Well, I appreciate it. I don't know, Danny. They might be okay. However, they also may not be. It's kind of up for interpretation. If you'll bear with me, I dropped my camera, so I just need to restart it. Camera big frozen. Yeah, no, it's because I dropped it while I was moving it. So if you bear with me, I just need to restart the camera. Okay, it doesn't want to just let me restart. There we go. That's better. Well, what are you looking at? Trip, I dropped my camera while I was moving it, so it completely froze on me. And now we'll turn off my mic so that I don't I'm not all echoey. Yes, good morning, Trip. How are you? How are you? I hope you're having a good morning. And Danny, this person may or may not be okay. That is up to your interpretation. I'm choosing to interpret them as well. it's hard to swim with shoes on, so I'm kind of drawing my conclusions from that. But you know, you may have a different interpretation, which is just fine. Okay, is that going to work? I think that's going to work. Okay. This is one of those lessons in that if I know that I want a certain camera angle for the stream, I should probably just set it up beforehand so that y'all don't have to deal with my foolishness, like with, dropping the camera and everything. But hey, we're all learning together. Oh yeah, Trip, thank you for using that command. That is a very abbreviated version of that story. The long story is on my Facebook and Instagram. Yes, her lawyer, Viola Desmond's lawyer, made a crucial mistake in that he decided to appeal her conviction based on the fact that it wasn't tax evasion, rather than it was based on racial discrimination. But because, based on the law at the time, she did technically commit tax evasion, the conviction held until she was pardoned in 2010, which I think is 55 years after her death, 45 years after her death, something like that. Oh, kind of like a Rosa Parks moment. Yeah, basically. Like Rosa Parks and Claudette Colvin and all of them. Okay, so the first order of business here is I'm going to introduce a little more white paint around this to sort of even out the tones, because as Trip pointed out last time, the water around this dude is a little bit different than the water surrounding him, so we're going to take care of that a little bit. Yo, Ellipse, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome in. Also, hello to your cat as well. No, Trip, you raise a good point, actually, without meaning to. A big reason why I started this whole thing when I was in university is because everyone knew about Rosa Parks, and everyone should know about Rosa Parks. But very few people knew about Claudette Colvin, who did the same thing Rosa Parks did years earlier. But unfortunately, and this wasn't so much a malignant decision on the organizers' parts, but they knew that white people would absolutely tear down any sort of semblance of legitimacy that the civil rights movement had if they used Claudette Colvin because she was a pregnant teenager. So, unfortunately, they knew and they recognized that Claudette Colvin had done something momentous in standing up for her civil rights. But unfortunately, they couldn't advertise the fact that she did, because it was like, oh, you're the hero for the civil rights movement as a pregnant teenager? Yeah, okay. So, unfortunately, it was kind of an optics thing. But yes, we got a lot of friends in here tonight. That's good. I hope you all are doing well. Also, Danny, I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you recognize this as a person, because I was, as much as I did like how this was turning out last time, I still was kind of worried that it wouldn't translate like I wanted. But your question cemented that it's translating just fine. So basically, getting back to my point about Claudette Colvin, I wanted to talk about more obscure things that people may not know about. Moments, people, places, all that kind of stuff. The system in place didn't allow for any fair trial. The figure needed to stand. They needed to stand behind, somehow had to pass a societal... yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that was Rosa Parks. She was she was seen as more fit, for better or for worse. So we're just going to keep on working this water here. Where this dude is. Okay, we're going to have to repaint that a little bit, but that's fine. Like here in Hong Kong, the image of a 16-year-old high school student that started the umbrella movement was constantly questioned because he was young, and thus led to the image that it's young people who are starting shit and demanding democracy. The youth and their naive thinking and influenced by Western movement. Yeah. Yep. My city hall is showing a documentary tonight called Whitewashing U.S. History. Interesting. I've never heard of that documentary. But if y'all want to see a good documentary, if you haven't seen it already, I mean, like every single documentary, there is some bias in it, but they try to take as much bias out of it as possible. But the documentary 13th on, I know it was on Netflix, I don't know if it still is, but that's a very good documentary about the history of the 13th Amendment in the United States, which a lot of people, I think, came to realize over the past couple of years, but it's really only been questioned as a whole. Like the U.S. Constitution, the 13th Amendment that freed the slaves, basically outlaws slavery with the exception of criminals. If you're in prison, you can still be a slave if you're imprisoned, which kind of led to, in the immediate aftermath of the abolishment of slavery, kind of led to the imprisonment of a whole lot of black people, you know. Never heard of it too. There's always bias because it's an expository message. Yeah, yeah. I'm watching the trailer now, but the creator said he's intentionally avoiding Hollywood films, except one that is pretty terrible. He notes it so. Yes, I believe that's Ava DuVernay. Yep. Yep. That I'm not gonna lie, that shit made me cry. There's a montage near the end of the documentary that legit like made me cry. You know, since we're on the subject, let me. As I saw, yeah, 13th. Yep. Stylized just like that, like the 13 and then the at the end. I saw someone yesterday. I don't know if it was a streamer that I follow, Paramix Zeph. I think it was her. But anyway, she was doing a stream, and she asked a good question. And I want to ask you guys if, I mean, you don't have to answer it all, but I thought it was a good thought-provoking question and led to some good discussion. What does Black history mean to you, if it means anything? Where's my line here? Am I level? I think so. I think I'm okay. Yeah. I think we're okay. That's a long answer in many things. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we evened that out some, and I think. Oops. I was told the other day that the majority of the time Black history is written as the history of slavery. Yes. A lot of times it is. And unfortunately, I mean, it's such a... Black history is ongoing, right? Like, that's also the kind of point of what I was doing. Yeah, there is so much more. Because a lot of times you kind of stop at slavery or at MLK and Rosa Parks and Malcolm X and the civil rights movement, and it's like, well, that's all fair and good, and those things should be discussed. But there's so much more to Black history. Which is why I also try. I mean, this year it's been a little lesser, but I mean, those posts are coming. I do try to talk about Black history as a whole, not just American Black history, but Black Canadians, Black Europeans, Africans, Central Americans, even or like the Caribbean. I even talk about. There's been some Black South Americans that I've talked about. You know. The good part in me is that we're remembering minority voices, especially one of the biggest minority groups in North America, aside from the indigenous. We need to remember it as a whole, and a group that is part of this country. Yeah. 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 I agree with that. God, I'm gonna have to repaint that. That's okay. Actually, let's just repaint that now. I hope y'all can see this all right. Let me zoom in a little. It's a little blurrier than I want it to be, but the pessimist part of me questions why Black History Month is only MLK Malcolm Parks in the few figures that we talk about. The fact that we need to do it once a year shows how terrible the education is in North America and how we deal with colonization and how we treated the non-white population. Yeah, I think part of it is I think that pessimism is warranted. I think part of the reason is, and I'm sure Jake can attest to this a bit because he taught for a while. I mean, there's so much that you have to teach that it's easy to see where, like, okay, we only have time to like teach this, this, and this. I do feel like those subjects are talked about most because they're convenient and there's a lot of documentation on them and what they've done. You know, because there is so much history to be taught, and there's just not enough time, which begs the question: well, why isn't it just part of the? Why isn't it just taught as part of like Canada's history as a whole, right? You know, which I think is the bigger issue. But you know what? I'm not a teacher, and I don't come up with a curriculum, so I can't really speak to that. It's about weaving it into the broader curriculum. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna grab some white. Wash off this brush first, then we're gonna grab some white and go over that stuff we just painted. Well, we're gonna introduce a little black first. Just up here. Yeah. Yep. Canada did start as a white colonial nation. Well, white colonialists came here and said, like, this is Canada. Yeah. Get that together. So it starts from a curriculum standpoint. I found it hard to teach about Black history when there wasn't specific time set aside for it. No, I mean that's fair enough, Jake. I mean y'all are already like so crunched for time anyway. And the curriculum is so limited that it's I certainly don't blame the teachers at all. Especially teachers such as yourselves who like tried to introduce it as much as they could, you know. All right. Just gonna get up in here and white out a little bit more of this shoe just to kind of suggest that there's something there. There we go. Part of why you left the profession. So many teacher friends are so overworked, yeah. Yeah. Less fulfilling, but your stress level is lower. I mean, hey, that's fair. All right, I'm just gonna get up and take a look at this from a distance. See how we're coming. You know, I think that looks pretty good, actually. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shift to doing some details on the person themselves. Like adding some highlights and shadows and all that kind of stuff. So that they're just not flesh colored. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do next. First, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to grab some candy. I'm also going to plug in my computer because it needs to be plugged in. Canada is always seen as a great place abroad, but man, is there some dark history we need to confront. Yes, indeed. All right. So I think we're going to start on the shorts. Not even talking about the states Canada has taught so poorly on the indigenous and how we as a nation was built on unfair trades, lies, and murder and theft. We need to own that as a nation and teach that in the classroom. So we bring racism into light. Once we as a nation have a similar education and knowledge about racism, we can actually make a change. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Yeah, Trip. The only thing that you need to apologize for when we're discussing things is if you said something crazy like an extremely goofy movie isn't better than a goofy movie, or you know that Paper Mario Sticker Star is far superior than the other games in the series. You know that I would make you apologize for. Sorry, sometimes I bring levity to a heavy subject. Yeah, but no, it's a very important discussion, and it warrants discussion. Okay, so that's Jake. I really, really hope that when I finally one of these days um, do a stream where, again, I don't think I'm going to do it seriously, but I'm going to do the 48 track speed run of uh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And again, it's not going to be serious. I'm not going to try to get any record. I just want to see where my time stacks up. But I really hope you're around for that, for one of the for that reference, because I may or may not have named one of the tracks in my splits Moo Moo Fraternity. 200cc? Nah, no, no, no. 150. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to race 200. I think a lot of the racism we see now was taught and is from ignorance. Yeah, yeah, yep. Well, a lot of the stuff that I've noticed in my day to day life, like people aren't, at least, and I'm probably, lucky in this regard. A lot of people aren't like out and out racist. They don't hold racist views. They're just ignorant. Like they don't know how something could be hurtful or offensive or the connotations of something like that, right? Um, they're not purposely being hateful. Yeah, a lot of it is ignorance, which doesn't excuse it, but that's why I approach every situation like that, unless it's like blatantly racist. Is like, well, okay, do you actually know what it is that you're doing or saying, or you know? And thankfully, again, in my experience, 9 times out of 10, they have no idea the connotations. And they actually make an effort to change. Mm, yeah. Okay. I think what I got to do now is just in some areas make it a little clearer. That's not it. That's not how to do it. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes the conversation does end badly. But you just hope that maybe one day it'll get resolved. Like I've had that conversation with some members of my family as well. Okay, so now we're going to start doing some highlights and shadows on this person themselves. So for that, what do I want to do? I don't think I need to wash this brush off yet. Gonna have to head to bed. Have a great rest of the stream. Well, Jake, I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope both you and your lovely wife have a wonderful night. And hopefully we'll catch you next time. And I see that you left a lurk, so I always feel like somebody's watching me. Appreciate it, Jake. I hope you have a good one. Oh, that is good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoy it. Okay. Get some white and some more red. Oh, need a lot more white for that. We'll just grab up all of this white paint and put it together. Ugh. Oh, my knees. Ugh. All right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sometimes that's all it comes down to. All right. Now, the fun thing about this whole thing is I have no idea if these shadows are right, but I heard you got some snow. We actually haven't gotten the snow yet. They were calling for snow yesterday, but as far as I know, like Toronto itself may have gotten hit, but we didn't get hit. It's actually been kind of a unseasonably well. I mean, it's been like 2 degrees, so there's actually been a lot of snow melting. But we haven't had a whole lot of like big snow yet. But it might still be coming. Oop, there's a little bit too much black. Yeah, yeah. It's well, actually, it's kind of what I was used to growing up because in my hometown, we usually didn't get a whole lot of snow. Actually, we're below the snow belt, so we didn't really get hit by any of the lake effect snow like London does and Woodstock and all that. We were a little bit too far south for that. So our winters, while they were a tiny bit milder, but there was a lot less snow. Ah, no, we got to darken that up a bit. Sorry if I don't look at the chat for a minute. I'm kind of I kind of get in a zone here where sometimes I feel like if I look away for a second, I'm gonna, as nonsensical as it is, you kind of feel like you're gonna lose it. And I kind of like how this is going, so I don't want to lose it just yet. I can lose it in a couple of minutes. Wash that off. Because the paint's starting to get sticky. And that's not what you want out of your acrylic paint. You don't want it to be sticky. And I don't want anybody who wants to like say hi or like keep talking or anything to be discouraged by me saying that. Like I will look at chat in a second. It's just sometimes you get in a groove and it's like, okay, well, let me just finish this and then I'll so just don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm gonna look up and no one will have said anything. All right. I kind of like how that turned out. No worries. I'm enjoying watching. Well, I'm glad. I'm gonna watch for a bit. The point of a painting stream is to paint. Don't apologize. Thanks, Trip. I mean, feel free to keep talking. That goes for anyone. Oh, I should have blended that more. Oh well. But for anybody who might have missed it earlier, I was talking a little bit about speed running. I am planning on learning how to speed run. My knees. I am planning on learning how to speed run the true pacifist glitchless category of Undertale. Because God, I love Undertale. Undertale is such an amazing game. And I think it'd be cool to learn how to play it fast. That way I can like slow it down sometimes and appreciate it even more. And then I'm going to play one of my favorite games from my childhood, Rush 2 Extreme Racing USA for the N64. I'm going to learn how to speedrun that. Then I might even, mess around and learn how to speedrun, I don't know, like maybe one of the categories in Super Mario 64. Or maybe Super Mario World, because to be fair, I like Super Mario World better than I like Super Mario 64. But who knows? Super Mario 64 does have some insane tricks. Well, I mean every speedrun has insane tricks, but Mario 64 is yeah, Undertale is fun. And completely like flips RPGs on their head. Like, it's such a cool concept. I am also planning on like streaming that like normally, like just running through the game normally. Because it's such a good game. And the music. The music in Undertale is something else. There we go. So let me just bring this in a little bit. Show y'all what we've done to this dude. So I'm going to zoom out first. I'm going to have to grab my computer. Bring it over. So yeah, he's looking a little down and out. But that's all right. So yeah, we added a few highlights and shadows to kind of give him some depth. And we're gonna come back and like work on him some more. But for now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a very quick break. Just have some water, some snacks, and then so for about 3 minutes or so, and then we will reconvene here and we will continue on with some detail work. I'm going to clean up some of the water over here, get it back to the way I wanted it. So that's the plan. So we will see you all in just a couple of minutes. All right.
All right. Let's turn off the desktop audio. There we go. Excuse me while I crunch on my candy. So mainly, what I want to do with the water is get rid of this. That's going to be our main objective. Yep. And that was just me trying some blending and then realizing I had too much white paint on my brush. But realizing a little bit too late. So we're going to fix it now. So Trick, what was your favorite game from the Super Nintendo era? Just out of curiosity. And anybody else in the chat, feel free to chime in what your favorite game was from the Super Nintendo era. Because I saw on Instagram that you're playing, you're playing through Mother 1 right now, but I imagine you'll eventually play Earthbound 2 if you're not also playing that at the same time. Yeah, yeah. From the SNES. There you go, that's a little better. Mother 2 and then Chrono Mana. Ah, yeah, Secret of Mana and then Super Metroid. Nice. Nice. I haven't played Secret of Mana. I played Chrono Trigger. Although I didn't play Chrono Trigger. I've seen, obviously, Let's Plays of it. Again, my favorite Let's Play of it is Nintendo Capri Sun. But yeah, I've seen playthroughs of it, but I didn't actually get a copy of it until I was 27, I think. Yeah. That made me think, so many. Oh, well, good. I have to say that my favorite is Super Mario RPG. And then I have to give it to Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island especially because I don't typically like that kind of game. I like platformers, but I don't like the meandering platformers where you have to like search everywhere for stuff. And I think it's because
Yoshi's Island actually kind of tightened up that format, which I appreciated. And then, of course, Chrono Trigger's up there. Oh, I'm also a big fan of Kirby's Dream Course. We played a lot of Kirby's Dream Course when I was a kid. Yeah. But yeah, Super Mario RPG is definitely my favorite of the Super Nintendo era, which is funny because I think it was like among the last, if not the last game actually released on the Super Nintendo. Because I think like the season after, like a couple of months after Super Mario RPG was released, the N64 was released. The Super Nintendo I played was lent to by my cousins. Ah, I see, I see. Wait, did you... So you lent it to them? And if so, did you ever get it back? Or did they lend it to you? Ah, they lent it to you. Okay. Ah, you were Sega. I see. I see. It's funny because for me, like it was kind of the reverse. Some of my cousins on my mom's side had Sega and like had the Sonic games and all that, but didn't have any Nintendo. Okay. What to do next? I just got to sit here and think about it for a minute. Because I think I might move over here and do some more stuff with the water around the beach. But we're just going to take a look and see what it is that needs our attention. All right. I think yeah, I think I'm going to pull up my reference image and work some more on this water over here by the beach. So let's do that. Excuse my face while I pull this up. Okay, where did I put it? How many candies do I have left? 2? Alright. Okay, the page is just loading now.
Taking it sweet time. Oh, come on. Where did you go? I think it's time for me to get rid of some of these photos because I just have too many of them. Ooh, those are some old pictures. There's some pictures from like a snowfall from my old apartment. Well, where did this picture go? I know it's in this folder. I'm sorry, everybody. This is riveting content, I know. I just hope you're enjoying just seeing the painting in the background, at the very least. There it is. Found it. It was hiding on me. Okay. So let's just get a... You can hear my partner teaching in the next room. It's... Yeah. Yep. She's like right near the door. Okay. So yeah, that's what I thought. We're gonna have to grab this big brush. And just on a section of this beach, like right here, just down in the corner, we're going to very faintly paint in sort of a... No, actually, we don't have to. No, you know what? We're not going to. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I was going to say we're going to paint a little bit of this beach, like in the water. But looking at my reference image, you only see it at the very bottom edge of the picture. So I'm not going to throw it in. One, it's a lot more work for me to do, and two, I don't feel like it, which I think are good reasons. Okay. So. So we can get a bunch of white and a little bit of that blue. Get that together. And I need a little bit more blue, especially close to the shore.
now we're going to introduce some white and kind of just blend that in. Speaking of my girlfriend doing the workouts, I have to go to the gym tonight. They've been open, but I haven't really been back yet. Mostly just due to, I've been tired lately. I've been doing a lot of stuff. But I need to go tonight. I've been staying up too late watching the Olympics, I guess. Okay. You gonna lurk while you prep for the day? Be watching the leg creep. Well, I appreciate that, Trip, and you know what that means. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I appreciate Trip. I hope you have a good rest of your morning, prepping for the day, and I hope you have a good day. I'm glad y'all enjoy it. Once again, what a statement to leave on an answering machine. Tell me you love me. Okay. So I think that added a good amount of depth to that beach area. Yeah. This song reminds me of the opening in a very, very subtle way. It reminds me of the opening of the song Can't Help But Wait by Trey Songz. In that song, so my roommate in university, my first year of university, I've talked about him before, about how he questioned why there wasn't a Chinese History Month, which I knew what he was trying to bait me into, but I didn't fall for it. I told him, you know what, it's a very good question. There probably should be. You know. He also was quoting all of those flawed studies that say that black people are less intelligent than other races. So, you know, I wasn't always a huge fan of him. One thing he used to do was he would like leave for classes all the day, like the entire day, but I wouldn't have any classes that day. And he would just leave his music on. And I was kind of like a socially timid type of person in my first year. Thankfully, I kind of broke out of my shell, but I didn't feel like I had the ability to just go and you know, turn off his computer. I didn't feel like that was a thing that I could do, right? But one of the songs that he would play, oh, and not only would he leave his music on, he would just put like one song on repeat, and then just leave. You know, sometimes he did that, and like it would be the evening, and he wouldn't have any classes, and it's like, where are you going? You know. Anyway, one of the songs he used to leave on repeat though was Trey Songz "Can't Help But Wait," and somehow, even though he always did that, that's the one song that I was like, no, you know what, I like this song. And even if I hear it now, like, it just brings me right back to university. And it's largely positive memories. And I think it's just because it's a good song. But yeah, this song, for whatever reason, just gives me the same vibe as the intro to that song. Can't help but wait. All right. Yeah, really, really, Trip. It was very interesting. He was an interesting dude. Wonder what he's up to now. All right. Once again, I'm going to take a step back and just see where we're at with this piece. You know, it's funny. We're reaching a point with this painting where I'm not actually sure what to do next, because there's more stuff I want to do on that on the gentleman in the water, but I don't really know where to go next with him. And ladies and gentlemen, what you're experiencing now is what happens when an artist starts to overthink things. Which, even though we have like another half hour together, is usually a good indication that you should probably just leave the painting alone. Because you're going to start overworking stuff, and then it's going to be like, well, yeah, I am totally overthinking. Well, thank you, Trip. But what I found is that when I start overthinking a piece,
in the old days I would just power through, but now in my old age, I've realized that I should probably just leave it alone. So I think what we're going to do is, there is like a few things on this little island here that I'm going to take care of. And then I think we might raid somebody. Because yeah, you start messing too much with a painting when you don't really know what direction you're going with it yet. That spells trouble. So yeah, I'm going to add a few details to this island over here. And then I think we're going to find somebody to raid. So it'll be a slightly shorter stream today. And I apologize for that. But I may destroy it. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to destroy anything. Because as easy as it is to like redo stuff with acrylic paint, I'd also rather not have to, you know? So basically what I'm going to do over here. Yeah, stepping back is a good thing, yeah. Well, I'm glad you agree. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a few highlights and a few shadows to this island over here. Nothing too drastic, but just to add a little something. Add a little depth. And I do want this to be a little bit more of a gray color. So we are going to gray it out a little bit by introducing some white. It's sort of like a exercise, where if you're not quite feeling it, like where you're going with your workout, like for some people it's better to power through, but on the whole, like it's probably better to just step back and be like, okay, this time we didn't get it, but we'll get it next time, you know. Otherwise, you risk like hurting yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself. Here we go. We got a nice gray color here. Go. Just adding a few highlights and shadows to sort of add some depth to this area across the way. Oop. There we go. Okay, and let's wash off our brush. Then we'll fix that little line, and then I'll show you guys what I did. And then, were you supporting this Sunday? Well, it's kind of a sticky wicket because one of my cousins is a big Bengals fan, but my buddy Jake is a Rams fan. You know, Jake from the Woods is a Rams fan. But what makes it a little bit easier is
as cool as it is to see my cousin and like his team in the Super Bowl, the Bengals also play in my favorite team's division, the Steelers. So I have to give the edge to the Rams. I'm not really going to be upset regardless of who wins, but I got to give the edge to the Rams. I'll be rooting for them a little bit more. Just because if there's any team from my division that I want to win the Super Bowl, it's the Steelers, not the Bengals. So, you know.
Next up, we got tricep dips, and then single leg squats on one side, and single leg squats on the other.
But if the Bengals win, the first person I'm texting is my cousin. Seeing how he feels. He's probably going to watch it with his wife and kids. He and I went to a Bengals-Steelers game in Pittsburgh years ago. And that was a pretty ballin' time. Like that was pretty cool. But yeah, what about you, Trip? Like I don't know if you watch a lot of football or anything, but are you sporting anyone in particular? Here, I'll show you. Sounds fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. You have no stake in this. That's fair. That's sometimes the best way to watch. You just want a good game. True. We don't need Patriots Rams where the final score was 13-3 again. And it wasn't because of like amazing defense. It was just because of pretty bad offense. But that's what we did. We added a few highlights and shadows to these trees and bushes over here just to give it a little added depth. Yeah. And then we'll roll back out. Oops. I'll show you the piece as a whole. Well, almost a whole. Almost a whole. There we go. Yeah, not looking too bad, I must say. I'm pretty happy with it so far. But like I said, I'm kind of wondering what to do next, and when an artist is doing that, it's a good idea to just kind of step back and let things stew, and then you decide from there. So, again, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream, but you know what? We did a good hour and a half of work, so I think that's good. I think that's good. That's positive. Thank you, Trip. All right. So now, with that being said, let's go find someone to stream or find someone to raid. All right. Let's go over to Twitch. See who's doing what. I also got to get my stream manager back up so that I can actually raid somebody because it doesn't work in OBS anymore. Let's see, what's the Jesse Carper up to? Yeah, I think we're going to go raid the Jesse Carper. She does really fantastic, cute little digital artwork. Like I love her style. So yeah, I think we're going to go say hello to her. Yeah. Like her colors are fantastic, and just her style is oh, you follow her. Look at that. You may need to raid and run. That's fair. That's fair. Thank you for checking it out, Trip. Thank you for checking out the stream, and thank you to everybody who came out to watch me for a little bit. All right, raid channel.
3, 2, 1. Bend over row.
I need to make a work call. That's fair. That's fair. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. So there we go. We're going to go raid the Jessie Carper. Yeah, and go say hello to her. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for coming out. Again, shorter stream today, but hey, when you've liked a painting so far and you're starting to overthink stuff, it's sometimes better to just step back for a bit, just let it sit in your mind, just let it rest, and then come back to it when you're fresh. So that's what we're going to do with this. Next stream is going to be Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We're going to be playing some more Breath of the Wild. And then the next art stream after that, oh, that's 9 a.m. Eastern, by the way. UTC 5 if you're overseas. And what am I saying? The next art stream is going to be Sunday morning at 11 a.m. So hopefully we'll see you back next time. And once again, thank you again. And I'm rambling. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. So take it easy, everybody. And yeah, have a good one.